This is me doing what God told me to do when I asked Him last night. Last night being the night that audio just didn't work because I forgot to take the mute off. I asked Him, "What do you want me to do with this?" He says, "You really want to know?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." He says, "Record these, but in snippets, and then upload the snippets separately." So, on a Thursday, on my day off, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Until I get annoyed by the cat. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Make sure. Oh, cool, I can. Making that significantly smaller. Putting that down there. I do have the black and the white notepads ready. And I'm going to, as we're starting, going to drag them over. I have them on the other screen, and or rather on the other screen over there. And I'm going to be able to show you. So, just for example, Matthew chapter 5 verse 10. Happy are those who are persecuted because they are good, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Okay, so bringing this over, that about right there. I'm going to flip where my screen is at to put it up there and a little smaller, if at all possible. There we go. According to Matthew chapter 5 verse 10, those who are persecuted are, for lack of better words, destined for heaven because it is theirs. You want to see that again? Let me just drag that over. Happy are those who are persecuted because they are good, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Now again, as we were talking, kingdom of heaven is salvation. So let's bring the white notepad over, and just to let you know, there for a couple episodes I will be copying from another screen. So according to everything I've ever heard, the moment life starts getting bad, that's when people want to leave Earth to go to heaven. But Jesus said, those who are persecuted, those are the ones who are destined for heaven. The only way that you and I can be persecuted is if in the middle of the trial we want to stay in the trial. Now, does that sound anything remotely close? to how you've been taught about Matthew chapter 5 verse 10, or that you've been taught about going through the rough stuff? Is it remotely close? Have you been told the majority, or excuse me, haven't we been told the majority of our life that we need to get to heaven? You want to know how you can absolutely know that you're going to heaven? You gotta be persecuted. But if you're so gung-ho about getting to heaven, because that's how to escape, then Jesus said those who are persecuted, heaven is theirs. You can't be gung-ho for heaven. And also, know that heaven is yours. So, principle number 1, if you want to know that heaven is yours, you gotta be persecuted. You gotta, in the middle of the trial, you want to stay in the trial. Now, that's not saying if in the middle of the trial you just kind of keep on egging on everybody else and enabling them to be frustrated with you, so the frustration just keeps going. No, I'm talking about the level of frustration that happens because the enemy doesn't like that you're there. I'm reminded of the time that I worked in a McDonald's. And I'm just doing my thing. But I'm also praying for my coworkers. And this one guy comes to me. He says, "Norm, I see that you have really good ability to just flow with every person. How can I get there?" And I said, "Adam, real name, the way to get there is to agree to being guilty for everything in a spiritual courtroom." He says, "That don't make sense. I've spent my entire life trying to stay away from the law." I said, "Earth law. This is spiritual law. Agree to being guilty of everything is what gets you favor on earth." He's like, "Nah, I don't think so. I can't do that." Alright, you can't. Can't hold it against you. He's like, "Can you get me that favor?" I was like, "No, I can't. The only way I can get you that favor is if you are doing what I'm doing." He's like, "Sounds like a cult." I said, "It's been helping hundreds of thousands of people. It's not a cult." So, in order for you to have an absolute favor in heaven, happy are those who are persecuted because they are good, for the kingdom of heaven, or the salvation that God has designed, is theirs. Are you walking in salvation the way that He writes it here?